guys. So, let me give the introduction. So let's take a look here. So what we're gonna do, this will be the second lesson. As far, if you haven't seen the first one, go watch the other YouTube video. We're gonna be going to a property that I own here and taking a look at it for the sake of how it relates to real estate. So taking a look here, this property, and you could tell based on the game. I'll go around this way too, so people could see it. But this is like West Hollywood area. This is like this whole Los Santos and Grand Theft Auto is very realistic to LA. Let me actually see if I could even pull up a window for you guys and add it to the stream so I could just show you guys a map on Redfin. Let me check. Actually, well, you guys, I'll throw that in later. I don't want to waste too much time trying to get that up. But this is what we're going to be doing. This is a lot like LA. So you guys could go look up the comparable prices yourself, or you could take my word for it. But I encourage you guys to look into it to get a better idea. The thing about it here is that it's very realistic, even the types of properties, all that stuff. So I'm going to look at it in the aspect of how this relates to either buying a house, what I'm looking for when I'm buying it, either as a flip or more so even as a rental, because I even talked about it in one of my videos. I even used to own a house. I got rid of it due to some other issues, but that house was in Hollywood Hills. So essentially, this is where they have it wrong, because this would be West Hollywood, and if this was really LA, there should be another freeway here, and that would be leading up to Hollywood Hills, would be maybe around here. So, because there's the observatory, so it's kind of screwed up in that sense. But it was, it looks like it would be right here, but then that really wouldn't make sense. This is somewhat Hollywood Hills, though. They just compressed it. But it was up there, and that house in 2013 was purchased for $600,000, and today it's worth $2 million. So those are great properties to buy, hold and flip. But at the same time, if you're buying for appreciation, you could also be renting that out at the same time, because I could rent that house right out now for about $7,000-8,000 a month. So that's great cash flow, especially if you're on like a $600,000 mortgage. Even if you had a mortgage payment at $600,000, that'd be like $3,000 a month. So you're coming away with $4,000 a month profit, which is kind of great. And that's assuming, though, that you're renting it out at the high. But great flip potential, great everything. So I'm going to go over that, take a look at this property that I own in the game, and then even discuss how you can use this in the sense of what to look for in terms of property. Because the last one we looked at, that was a more, quote unquote ghetto home, not as in a nicer area. So what we're going to be doing is looking at the homes from a more nicer area now, and seeing what approach would you take, because it is a lot different. So let's drive up to this house and see what it's like. I probably should have drove to the house first before I started ranting, but someone said you're using GTA to teach. Genius, yes. Weeza, he said he wants someone to manage his money. Bro, the best way I look at it, why not learn yourself? I would rather, instead of, if you really want me to take your money and give you, take half of the profits and you assume all the risk, by all means, I don't think that's the best option for you. I would just say, why not learn how to do it yourself? And even then, even if you are going to give somebody your money to go invest for you, wouldn't you want to kind of know the process in and of itself so you don't get hustled? That's the way I've always looked at it. So when I get up here, let me turn on sunset. That's what I wanted to show you guys. I think right here, should be around here. Hopefully it gives me a map redirect. Please make a U-turn. Please make a U-turn. Oh my gosh, what's going on over here? This is violence. Yeah. So look, this is Sunset Boulevard in LA. If any of you guys have been to LA, this little, you see that little, oh, what? How? I was in passive mode. Yo, what a dickhead. Millions in a day, no big deal. 250K a day, you can make more money from a heist. That's funny. Alright, so take a look. This is one of those houses where, and let me go in first person mode. Actually, let's stand out so you guys can kind of see a bigger view. This one's in the hills. I would say, you know, it has a pretty killer view. We can go around through the back side of it. I would have to hop over some shit. But here's the front, Mediterranean style. And that's something too, you notice these, like, I usually don't like power lines like this, but, you know, in houses like this, it's kind of almost a necessity. Oh my gosh. Man, this one's sucking right now.
You got in the garage again?
I just fell into the garage again, man. What the fuck kind of shit is this? Okay, so let's go to the back side of the house. And here's the thing, you know, based on how the property is set up, I would assume the property line is right here. You see? So you only own pretty much as far as this fence goes. It kind of, and that's what's kind of weird because the land kind of goes into it. But building on these houses is interesting, you know. You have to get the, you know, soil graded, you have to level it, do all stuff. I'm not a developer. I'm not into that. So simple as that. But what I said this before on this house. This has a nice concrete foundation. So that's what I like. In a house like this, I'd be worried about the ones with steel poles. Not steel poles, but wooden poles. But this one seems like it's on decent land. And then again, where's the property line here? I would say, I'm assuming it's where this guy's fence is. Usually it could be very, very different, especially when you're in the mountains. So it's a pretty big lot. I'd say maybe, I want to say 6,000 square feet. Maybe that could be an overestimation, but looking at this house, this style, you could tell it's pretty new. Let's see, I don't see anything too crazy. I think that's just like the ugliness of the animation. Nothing too nuts. So let's go on the inside and I'll explain this property because, like I said, this one is going to be a lot different than your traditional, you know, find a fixer-upper that needs TLC to change more or less, because this one's kind of already done up, but now we could even assume that the upgrades weren't made. I would say right now this probably has a market value of I actually have to go look at the bedrooms and baths on the inside. I've actually never been in this house, surprisingly. So let's take a look. I want to say like 3 bedrooms, but it's GTA, so you never know. But I don't know, man. This one's hard to say. It all depends on the inside, the square feet. It has a killer view, so I think that alone is probably going to put this in the 2 millions. So here's the kitchen. We'll go about that. I just want to see bedrooms and baths. So let's go. It's 2-story. And notice, that's how it is. So when you're walking in this house, oh wow, it's multiple stories. So it's built downwards. So I think we got 1 bedroom here with a fucking excellent view of the city. Yeah, and this would be a view of Hollywood. So again, views add a lot of money just because, well, I think you guys can figure it out. So we got 1 bedroom, 1 bath. I'm assuming this is a bathroom. Yeah, very done up. So this house is done up a lot. It's like, you know, just kind of seeing this type of view. I was going to buy a house like this. Were you with me when I saw that one? It was designed exactly the same, actually. Holy shit. It went down 3 stories. It was a lot smaller, had custom bathrooms, but that was like $4.5 million. So I think this is the 3rd level of the house. I'm saying this is, you know, you got a fucking waterfall coming down it. That's kind of a risk, honestly. I probably wouldn't do that in mine. This, now, here's something. Tell me, is this considered a bedroom? You guys see in here, would we consider this a bedroom? You know, I'm going to wait a little bit to see what your guys' answer's on.
The audio's on.
It's on?
Yeah, I hear it.
Okay. Yeah. Is that a house you rent out in real life? It all depends on how much you're paying for it. You know, so if I bought this pre-renovation, I'd probably hold it for a little bit and then rent it out. But again, you could flip it. So let's see what people are saying. For bedrooms, we got 1 person saying no. Come on, y'all. Y'all slow at this. LOL, no. Is it me? I think everything is good on my end. No. Type in the chat that audio is good. So you guys are saying no. You guys are right. What doesn't make this a bedroom? One, there's no windows. So you look around this room, there's not one window, and there's not a closet. So this could be considered a loft or a kind of a living area. So a game room, anything, but it's not a bedroom, surprisingly. So right here, now this one's interesting because I think it was renovated to hold guns and shit. But this would most likely be a bedroom. So right here, as you see, I think that's covered. That's a window, right? So here we have, yeah, it's totally a window. So there's a window that makes it a room. This was probably a closet that got converted into a storage facility. So then we're at 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, the loft downstairs. So you could maybe consider this 3, but we're looking at 2 bedrooms. And then let's see, is there anything up here? Living room, this. Interesting. So, okay, this is the sucky part about GTA, because we're not really able to actually see the house. Because let me see out this window. No way, this is the end of the house, so these are those windows on the outside. Then what the heck is on this side of the house? Maybe that's where everything... I don't know if it's that small. Maybe it feels just too small to me in the game. Let's try to go outside and take a look before we come back in. Because even then, we'll look at the backyard. So, that's the thing. You know, let's assume this is stairs in room 2. What do you mean stairs in room? So let me come out here. Jeez. It's weird when you sprint. Okay. Yeah, so what... You see, so this doesn't make sense. Do you see how this doesn't make sense? Because that's when you walk in, you come in on the 2nd story, right? And then this is from the bedroom. There's your balcony, but then you have this whole living area. So I'm going to assume another, you know, if this was a real property, there'd probably be like 3 more bedrooms out here. Because it just, you're literally, we only got to analyze up until this side of the house. Then the staircase goes down here. So I'm going to assume probably at least 2 areas in another living area. Then you got a pool. Then you got this killer view of the city skyline. So, simple as that. So let's assume this was like a what? 4 bedroom, 3 bath. I'd say it's about 3,000 square feet, you know, considering this whole half of the house, you know. Oh, maybe that's the garage. That's why they converted it. So it's converted for killing because it's GTA, but I'd say it's about 3,000 square feet. So kind of putting in this to perspective, I think we're looking at about, if it was a 2-bedroom, maybe $2 million, 1.5. But considering a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, I'd say about $4 million. Now, let's say it was just the outside and this was kind of in dog shit condition. You could probably get this for $700,000 to $900,000. I would say is a fair estimate. And now that may seem like a lot, but hopefully you guys see, you know, when you get into higher levels of investing like that, you guys get to understand $900,000. Your potential profit on this is just like taking that $200,000 home, flipping it for $400,000, or 400 flipping it for 550, 600. You're going to get a lot. You know, you're going to get 50%, usually 30% minimum. But on these higher properties, you could really make a lot because it's not as comparable. You know, it's hard to do comps on a property. As you see, this is a custom house. You know, even though it's GTA and fitted, every single one of these houses in LA is usually extremely different. So that house is going to be of different value than any other one. So it's kind of more preference, and that's where prices fluctuate. And you can make a lot more. You know, if you put $900,000 you bought this for, you would probably put $300,000 or $400,000 in renovation, and you could probably sell it for anywhere from $2.5 to $4 million, which is a pretty big estimate. But again, we're not getting as much information, and that's what kind of makes this property a lot harder to identify and look at. So let's go inside now. And, again, a property like this, I wouldn't buy it at a high price like that, 3.5%, 4% premium, because take a look. Like we said, you could find this house for maybe, let's assume the high end. You bought for 900,000, you put in 450 grand, you're at 1.2 million. You could at least sell it for $2 million, all the way up to 4.5, depending on the market and all that. Renovation costs, yeah, because you're looking to pay. Someone asked why the renovation costs are so high. It's 3,000 square feet. I'm assuming you have everything. You're doing everything from remodeling the outside all the way to hardwood floors on the inside, and that's what we'll look at and identify. Custom kitchen. Those are Sub-Zero appliances. I'm assuming. Very, very custom, and even in the sense of when you look at how this house was set up, I guarantee you it didn't look like this when you walked in. There was probably a wall right here. This was its own wall. They cut that out. They maybe put the fireplace right here. Even though this style is kind of older, so you could see that maybe they just remodeled that fireplace. But you definitely had to put more stuff into it. That's why the costs are so high. But looking at the renovation, you put 400 grand in here. I'm assuming on the high end, you're selling it for 1.2. Even if you sold it at $2 million, you're making 800 grand profit, 400K profit after taxes. So that's like what, 30% profit? Not too bad. But you see, this house is very, very custom, and we'll take a look at the things that make it so nice, how much they cost, and that's what I would do. And now, like I was saying, I wouldn't buy this at this price, because what I want to show you guys is something called premium. And that's for the people looking to buy a house. You guys got to be careful that you're not paying a premium. When a guy like me comes in, invests in one of these properties, flips it around, makes it look all nice like this, wow, look at this kitchen, isn't that nice? Look at these fucking elephants in the wall, surround sound. You got the sun view. That was probably there, but they probably put new windows, these lights going all the way down, a waterfall from the 3rd story, even these glass railings, the little wall here, the fireplace, these doors, even though they don't open, but floor to ceiling doors with those types of tinted glass on the outside. All of that you're paying for it being nice. So it didn't cost, as we see, you pay 400 grand for it. You do the work, you put it in the house, you could sell it for 800 grand profit, even $1.5 million profit. That's called paying the premium. So don't fall for the nice looking stuff. Now, if you can't do it yourself, yeah, maybe you might want to pay, but understand that's where a lot of the premium is going towards. You're paying more than it actually costs. That's why we call it a premium, premium service, stuff like that. So that's what's kind of dangerous with buying one of these, and that's why I wouldn't buy one. If I was ever going to buy one of these houses in the hills, it would have to be borderline falling off the mountain in dog shit condition. But that even brings up the point that I'm scared of. I really wouldn't want something that's borderline falling off the mountain. I looked at one actually the other day. I found it on Redfin, and this house literally fell. It was like falling off the mountain after a mudslide, and it got closed by code enforcement. You couldn't even access the property. So there's a lot of risks like that. You got to go get soil tests, get everything graded, redo all that. It's a nightmare. But even then, look at this wooden deck. That all costs money. So again, that's the premium. But that's kind of what I'm looking at for. As far as premium and what I would be looking for to buy this house to flip it now, or buy it, put in the renovations, and I would be a little less inclined to put in this much in renovations and try to hold it, because I'd have to be pretty confident in the market. And then even if you're renting it at $7,000 a month, that's like what's 7 times 12? 82. 82. Is it? So you're making $82,000 a year. It would take 4 years for you to 84. 84? Yeah, so it would take you 5 years to make your money back in terms of just the renovations. and that's not including the purchase price of the house, and that's assuming it's fully rented and you're getting that much. So I really wouldn't want to rent this out unless if that was the case, I'd try to find something in decent condition, or I would rent it out unrenovated for a cheaper price simply because of the location, and make money on that and then renovate it right before I sold it. So again, looking at all this stuff, we could go, and like I'm saying, you have these custom floors. Custom floors in this house, 3,000 square feet probably. We're looking at 25 grand minimum. Custom doors, I don't even want to count the doors. I think there's 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, we'll say 6 doors. Those are probably like $1,000 a pop. This kitchen probably cost 100 grand. I don't know, that might be bold. We'll say, just because in some of these areas making it look nicer, this style, I'd want to say 80 grand. So what? Talking 25, even maybe 35 grand. I'm going to be conservative and say higher numbers. 35 grand for the floors, 40 grand for the kitchen, another 5 grand for doors. Right there, we're at what? 100 grand, I think. Or maybe I did that math wrong. Let's say 35, so 75, 80 grand. Custom decks right here, I want to say $5,000, maybe 10,000 for all of them. That's about 90 grand. I want to say the windows were all redone, but they look like shit from the outside. That's pretty much it for upstairs. I'm trying to see. Oh, maybe recessed lighting. Oh, and is that a theater? What comes out of here? Or that could just be design. Okay, yeah. See, so now you look at, you got a custom roof right here. They elevated the roof. That's probably another 10 grand. And that's assuming throughout the whole house. So we're about at like 100 grand. I don't know if they put these cabinets in, or if that's furniture. This one looks like it's built in. Nope, it's not suspended. Never mind. So we're saying 100 grand just for this top floor. And again, yeah, we're including all. Maybe we'll add another 5K because I'm sure there's custom stuff around here. So 105 grand. This waterfall probably 20 grand, I would say. Yeah. Then you got recessed lighting in it, custom lights. So we're at 120 right there. These custom staircase, probably another 10 grand, 15 grand, 130 grand right there, or 140. Down here, honestly, nothing too crazy. Just the room. This area right here, again, that's probably included in the waterfall price. And then nothing in this house, really. I'm not counting the custom gun drawers and all that. So that would probably be like another 130. I'm looking at. I don't know. I feel like that's too little to say that's 130 grand. Let's go in this bedroom. I think we already. Oh, we didn't include the bathroom. So that's the next thing. We're talking 3. For every 4 bedrooms, we already factored in the floors and the doors. So actually, I'm gonna add another 5 grand for all the bedroom doors. I probably didn't put that in condition. This bathroom's probably like, oh yeah, that shower's probably like 40. I'd say probably 60 grand for this bathroom, maybe 70 grand. So again, that's already 200,000. This is a custom toilet. I think it has a bidet on it. These sinks and everything. There's my beautiful face. You saw Josh Answers? No. Yeah. So add 60K. We're already at 200 grand. And I think those are conservative estimates. Those are low estimates. So I would say probably 200 just with a quick walkthrough of those bedrooms, and then coming back up here, because remember, I think there's a whole living room on this other side of the wall that we're not really looking. So we've only went through about half the house, and we're already at 200 grand. So I think 400 grand would be reasonable. But yeah, that's pretty much it, I would say, as far as that goes. And then the idea here, I would want to flip this if I got it at the 900,000 price. If this was going for anything above maybe 1.2 million, 1.5 million, probably wouldn't do it. In all honesty, not my thing. So we'll toast. We made the purchase. I think we had our good flip in there, and I would probably look to resell it. as soon as possible if we did those renovations. And you know, that's the thing, it's already renovated. And again, looking at all this stuff, at the very least, even if you're not flipping, hopefully you guys could see the aspects that, you know, you look around this house, what to look for and how much this stuff costs. So it might be better to do it yourself, but at the same time, you could find some of these houses priced right. And, you know, assuming this house was like cut up and they put the garage like it is, I would only pay $1 million for this as is with all the custom upgrades, because sometimes when you upgrade the house too much, it's hard to find a buyer. And you know, I saw a property like that. My brother sent me a property today he wants to get in the area. I said, it wasn't nice. I said, if you want a custom property, I remember seeing one in the area that had an elevator in it for like 800 grand, and they put like 200-300 grand into upgrades. So that will kind of break it down for you and give you some insight. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So any questions on that? Write your questions. You guys have a delay. I'm gonna get some water.